See this fucking balls? Lick them. Listen, haters are gonna hate, and the fact that Tony Bellew and Carl Froch didn't make any money out of the game is obviously hurtful to them. And I'm making the biggest bags that's ever.
Tyson Fury seems determined to make losing to Usyk twice even worse, now directing his frustration at Carl Froch for trolling him about it.
And Carl Froch do a little mock-up fight somewhere, so he didn't get anyone interested. Who cares what they think? They're just average little boxers, no personality.
Honestly, the whole situation is as chaotic as Fury's defense in that rematch. Instead of accepting the loss like a champ, he's targeting Froch, who, let's be honest, has never been one to hold back his opinions.
Tyson hasn't got the fitness or the engine anymore for 12 solid rounds. To beat Usyk, you've got to be able to sustain the pace.
In his usual no-nonsense style, Froch called out Fury's training as the real issue, labeling him all talk and no action.
There's hatred for Usyk because he's ruined his legacy and he's ruined it at the end of his career. He's had back-to-back defeats now. Can he mentally cope with that and retire? I know he's got 100 million quid in the bank, which is going to soften the blow. But bottom line is, money shouldn't be your king.
Harsh? Probably. True? Definitely. But Fury, being Fury, didn't take the critique lightly and responded with an over-the-top reaction you'd expect from someone still licking their wounds.
No, we won't be furious. It'll be okay.
You will be furious,
I
you will
won't
be angry.
furious. No, I won't be angry, I'll be focused.
They told me that when you are in a...
What really stung Fury was Froch calling his performance terrible and unprofessional. But it didn't stop there. Froch also blasted Fury's corner, describing it as a chaotic mess with too many voices and no clear strategy.
It's obviously hurtful to them. And I'm making the biggest bags that's ever existed. I've just signed the biggest deal in boxing history, which I can't divulge to you right now.
Then, of course, Froch being Froch took it even further. He mocked Fury's obsession with money, calling it embarrassing and claiming it overshadowed any effort to protect his legacy. Essentially, Froch accused Fury of trading greatness for a fat paycheck, selling out the very thing that once made him special.
Strong as me. Not everybody's mentally as strong as me. Like, a lot of negative stuff can bring other people down. It doesn't do shit to me because it's just like water off a duck's back. It doesn't do anything. I'm waterproof.
What really twisted the knife was Froch dragging his own name into the mix. The man loves a good self-plug, doesn't he? He compared Fury's downfall to his own comebacks, suggesting Fury lacks the grit and resilience to bounce back from such humiliation. Froch painted Fury as a guy whose loud bravado can no longer mask the cracks in his armor. And then, of course, there was the fight itself, one that sent shockwaves through boxing. Usyk's performance against Fury on December 21, 2024, was the kind of display that made you wonder if Fury even bothered to read the memo on who he was actually facing.
Bottom line is, Oleksandr Usyk won the fight. On my scorecard, it was the same as the judge. It was 4 or 5 rounds, 117, 112, or 116.
Usyk, the smaller man by over 40 pounds and several inches, didn't just win. He delivered a masterclass in precision, strategy, and boxing IQ. Fury, who built his career on being the bigger, more agile fighter, looked like he was stuck in quicksand, struggling to keep up with Usyk's footwork and head movement.
There was times when Fury was backing him up and leaning on him and putting his weight on him and pushing him around the body and holding on to him. And that's how you make the fight messy. But you tire Usyk out and you win the rounds. Put a couple of shots together, lean on him. But that takes a bit of energy from Tyson. He wasn't able to sustain it. He wasn't able to do it for long enough periods.
Every time Fury tried to close the distance and used his size, Usyk danced around him, countering with sharp jabs and leaving Fury looking frustrated and slow. It was like watching someone chase a shadow. Despite Fury's renowned power, Usyk proved that size means little when you have a solid plan. He outmaneuvered Fury at every turn, reading his moves as if he had a cheat sheet.
Because Usyk was getting marked up, he landed his headshots, he had his moments of success. But when he did have success and he was doing well, and I was thinking that's a good little combo from Fury.
By round 9, it wasn't just a fight, it was a clinic. Usyk's sharp combinations and relentless pace forced Fury into the ropes, resulting in a standing 8 count that felt like a neon sign flashing game over. That round didn't just define the fight. It solidified Usyk's reputation as a heavyweight genius, capable of dismantling even the most imposing opponent.
What do you reckon, right man won?
Right man won. I think Fury, what would he do now? His head and his heart will be absolutely broken. I think he was always having to react instead of actually being the activator.
Let's talk about legacy. Usyk didn't just beat Fury. He flipped the entire narrative of the heavyweight division. Analysts like Eddie Hearn and Teddy Atlas are now calling Usyk a generational great, a title that was still up for grabs before this fight. With an undefeated record spanning both cruiserweight and heavyweight, including back-to-back wins over Anthony Joshua, and now this dominant victory over Fury, Usyk is being mentioned in the same breath as Ali and Lennox Lewis. His ability to outthink and outbox opponents much larger than him isn't just impressive, it's historic.
You could see that he actually got a bit of hatred for Usyk there, because he's ruined his legacy and he's ruined him at the end of his career. He's had back-to-back defeats now. Can he mentally cope with that and retire? I know he's got 100 million quid in the bank, which is going to soften the blow. But bottom line is, money shouldn't be your king.
Fury, on the other hand, has some serious soul-searching to do. Heading into the fight, he carried an aura of invincibility, built on victories over Deontay Wilder and Vladimir Klitschko. But Usyk didn't just beat Fury, he exposed him. For all Fury's talk of being unbeatable, he looked shockingly human in that ring. This wasn't just a loss, it was a reality check. The man who once claimed that no one born of a mother could defeat him now has Usyk's name permanently etched in his column, and it's not going away anytime soon.
Usyk was just too good. El Supremo, Oleksandr Usyk. I think now it's time to walk away into the sunset and not risk his legacy, because you see fighters fight on for too long.
The big question now is, what's next for Usyk? At 37, with an Olympic gold medal and undisputed titles in 2 divisions, he's accomplished more than most fighters could ever dream of. Retirement would make sense, but boxing loves a good storyline, and Usyk isn't done yet.
Tony Bellew and Carl Froch do a little mock-up fight somewhere, see if you can get anyone interested in it. Who cares what they think? They're just average little boxers.
Fury activated the rematch clause faster than you can say damage control, setting up a potential showdown for October 2024. There's also talk of Usyk facing other top contenders like Anthony Joshua or Deontay Wilder. Either way, Usyk's options are plentiful.
At the end of his career, when he's getting old and tired, because it was tiring there, to still pull out the performance that he pulled out and do what he's done. If he walks away now, he's finishing really on a massive high.
Meanwhile, Fury's decision to push for an immediate rematch is raising eyebrows, with critics like Carl Froch, of course, weighing in. They argue that rushing back into the ring could be career suicide. Fury's performance against Usyk wasn't just technically flawed, it also raised questions about his mental state. His subdued demeanor before the fight and lackluster performance during it don't exactly scream ready for redemption. Let's be honest, facing a confident Usyk without serious adjustments could make things worse for Fury.
But behind the computer screen, anybody can be anybody, and everybody's tough.
If Fury has any hope of winning the rematch, he must completely overhaul his approach. Analysts like Paulie Nalinabi have emphasized that Fury needs to fully embrace his size and power, something he failed to do in the first fight. Instead of playing Usyk's game, Fury must cut off the ring, control the pace, and prevent Usyk from finding his rhythm. Conditioning will also be critical. Fury faded badly in the later rounds, while Usyk still looked fresh. Without improved stamina, Fury's chances of turning the tables are slim to none. His strategy and fitness will need major adjustments.
And he's quite sort of nonchalant with his body language and disrespectful, and people don't like it. You know, if you're at the top and you're
Now, isn't this exactly the kind of circus act that practically begs for criticism? Enter Carl Froch, who never misses a chance to speak his mind. Froch didn't hold back, calling John's presence in Tyson's corner damaging and unprofessional. He pointed to the Usyk fight as Exhibit A, emphasizing the confusion during key moments when John's loud, conflicting instructions drowned out any semblance of a game plan. Froch even went so far as to suggest that Tyson might need to sideline his dad entirely if he hopes to get his career back on track.
But to be honest, it's like, it's not a big fight for me. It's not something I get excited for. It's almost like the battle of the losers, isn't it? They both lost to Usyk. I mean,
This isn't Froch's first rodeo when it comes to criticizing the Fury family, but his words carry more weight after the Usyk loss. He argued that Tyson's success has often been overshadowed by John's outbursts, whether it's dramatic press conference antics or public confrontations with fans and pundits. Froch's point was clear. Tyson's greatness is getting lost in the noise. It might be time for the Gypsy King to step out of his father's shadow and focus on his craft.
whilst you've got two other people giving you advice, that means you're listening to absolutely nobody.
Let's not pretend this is a one-off issue. The Fury family dynamics have always been complicated, but the pressure of the Usyk fight seemed to place them under a magnifying glass. John's fiery, over-the-top defense of Tyson, though rooted in love, often veers into overbearing territory. Even during Tyson's earlier fights, like the Wilder trilogy, John's outspoken nature frequently took center stage. Remember when he publicly criticized Tyson's training decisions and demanded more control over his preparation? Sure, Tyson won those fights, but the tension within the camp was undeniable and impossible to ignore.
And the Usyk should probably hang his gloves up. Usyk's completed the game, former undisputed cruiserweight champion. Completed it at cruiserweight, beat everybody in style. Wasn't really, I mean, he was in a couple of tricky fights, never really in any serious problems. So.
Some, like former heavyweight champ David Haye, have openly questioned whether Tyson's loyalty to his father might be holding him back. Haye pointed out that while family support is invaluable, there's a fine line between support and unnecessary interference. With John playing triple duty as father, trainer, and spokesperson, that line has been obliterated. It's a volatile mix that might not be doing Tyson any favors, especially when facing opponents like Usyk, who bring discipline and focus to an entirely different level.
He's been a fantastic fighter, he's had an unbelievable career, but he's not what he thinks or what he's telling everybody or what Big John Fury is telling everybody. How he's unbeaten, no man ball.
The million-dollar question is whether Tyson would actually benefit from putting some distance between himself and John's larger-than-life presence. Whether Tyson chooses to keep his father in his corner or finally reevaluates the team dynamics, one thing is certain. John isn't fading into the background anytime soon. The real question is whether his presence will help Tyson reclaim his throne or just add another layer of distraction to an already uphill battle. Either way, the Fury family saga will continue to be as entertaining as the fights themselves, sometimes even more so.